Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. I am here at Rosie's Corner, the official pizza shop of the ML Sports Platter. Make sure you get on down to Rosie's Corner. You're in and around Central New York. This place is amazing. Today is Friday, which means they've got the Fish Friday going with a sandwich or the entree, mac and cheese coleslaw with it. They've got an unbelievable array of salads and hot and cold subs. They have a tremendous array of pizza and wing combinations as well. They do themed foods during the week. Besides the Fish Friday, you can get the chicken and biscuits on Wednesdays. And, of course, pork as well. So make sure you get down here to Rosie's Corner. Jason, Jody, and the gang doing an awesome, awesome job. I wanted to focus in for the next 8+ minutes or so here on 9 Minutes with Mike Lindsley on YouTube, IGTV, and Facebook on the ACC semifinals. First of all, there is no surprise that the ACC semis is here with the teams that have arrived. Number one, clear indication, Florida State, a team that, look, they made the Elite Eight last year, and if it wasn't for some blunders towards the end of that game, Florida State might have gone to the Final Four. They lost to Michigan, of course, but Florida State's a really, really, really good team. When you look at Gamaji, you look at Kabingale, you look at Phil Kofer, you look at Terrence Mann, he made that unbelievable play in that last-second type shot in overtime against Virginia Tech. Yesterday. This is a really, really good, tough, long team that also happens to shoot it on occasion. And when they get hot shooting, look out. Florida State guards you chin to chin, too. If you look at a lot of the games they play, sure, there's been some games in the 70s or 80s, but if they have you right into that mid-60s range, you're not going to beat Florida State because that means that they're defending, that means that they're blocking shots, that means that they're creating offense from defense, and they're so big and they're so up here and out here. Extremely difficult to play. I actually am more pumped up for the Florida State-Virginia game than I am North Carolina and Duke. Speaking of Virginia, I watched a lot of that game against NC State, and it was nip and tuck for a little while, and then all of a sudden, like that, just like when Virginia has done it all year, you snap your finger and they're up 12 after it was a 2-point game. That's what they do. They come at you like a locomotive. They can shoot the rock. Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, Kyle Guy. Jack Salt was great yesterday in the game as well. He provided a nice little spark down low, was a nice little X factor for the Hoos. I am going to take Virginia, though, in this game close. Let's go 70-67. I think it will indeed be a defensive game that is going to be unbelievable to watch. And I think Virginia, no matter what at this point, is a 1 seed. In fact, I think the ACC deserves to get 3 1 seeds. I still believe Duke deserves to get a 1 seed over Kentucky. They've won plenty of games without Zion Williamson. More on them in a minute. But you take a look at Virginia and Florida State. This game is going to be really, really good. And you know what? Florida State, I think, is trying to maybe prove a little bit here in this tournament. Be like, hey, you know what? We're not getting the accolades of Virginia, North Carolina, Duke. We're pretty damn good. Look out for us. So keep an eye on that storyline. Keep an eye on Virginia, of course, trying to win the ACC tournament, get a 1 seed, and change the narrative that they're big chokers and Tony Bennett can't do anything after losing to a 16 seed last year. But I just can't wait for Virginia and Florida State. Meantime, Duke and North Carolina. This is obviously the blue blood rivalry of Tobacco Road. Zion Williamson will play in this game. I played against Syracuse last night, was fantastic. 13 of 13 from the floor. He went 2 of 9 from the free throw line. If he just made a few more, he would have been over 30 points. But Duke with the full arsenal. Now, I know Bolden got hurt in that last game against North Carolina, but when you look at R.J. Barrett, you look at Zion Williamson, you look at Cam Reddish, that's 3 of the top 5, in my opinion, picks in the NBA draft upcoming. And then you add it with the depth, a little bit of depth anyway off the bench, and you've got obviously Trey Jones, who's the best defender of the team, on the team, and a guy who can patrol the half court or the fast break. He's really, really good in the zone too. Might be one of the top 5 defenders Coach K has really ever had. Problem is he's only going to get him for 1 year. All those guys are going to go pro after this year. But Duke with a full arsenal, I'm going to pick them against North Carolina, 90-88. Close game here as well. I think it's going to be nip and tuck, possession back and forth. Carolina's edge to me in this game comes from the depth standpoint. They can kill you in a lot of different spots. They can kill you with a three-point shot in terms of Nasir Little. They've got Kobe White shooting the ball like crazy. He is a dynamic inside-outside guy. I think he's going to be a top 15 pick in the NBA as well. And then you go ahead and you look at Cam Johnson. You look at Luke May. You look at these guys. I mean, they can beat you from everywhere on the floor. Three-point shots from the wing. They screen out really well. They get the ball and their outlets are perfect. They can get to the hoop. They can make free throws. North Carolina hurts you from a lot of different spots with a lot of different players. With Duke, you've got to have the big three, big four perform. Now, Jim Boeheim has always said, hey, you don't really need a deep bench in March and in the tournament play if your big guys are scoring. Well, yeah, of course, Jim, we know that, and you've always played 6 guys and 7 at the most your entire career. This year, Syracuse has been forced to use more than that because Frank Howard was injured at the beginning of the year, and then now Tyus Battle out in the ACC tournament. He's going to rest up for the NCAAs, and yes, Syracuse will be in the NCAAs. If they don't make it, I will be stunned. But I think Duke wins this game 90-88. It's going to be a really good game, nip and tuck all the way. But Carolina's depth and the ability to run the basketball out on the outlet, I think, is going to be big. Now, if you want to run against Duke, you can do so, but you do it at your own risk because Zion Williamson and Reddish and Barrett and Trey Jones can also run the floor. I don't think that you're going to see any trickery or mismatching and all the rest with Carolina and how they defend Zion Williamson, because if they try to go up with a double team or they try to go up, and try to just completely neutralize him on one side of the floor, you could even try a box and one. Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett are better pure scorers than even Zion Williamson is. So to me, with Duke, that trio, man, is really, really ridiculous. And you know what? This shows you right now the semis, the top 4 teams in the ACC tournament left. Number 1 seed Virginia, you got Duke, Carolina, Duke, and then Florida State. I mean, these are the 4 best teams in the ACC. They've been the best 4 all year long. This has been a situation where I think since the last, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, you've got 3 of the 4 teams here who I think should be number 1 seeds. I know that there's been a lot of noise made about Kentucky lately and the fact that because Duke didn't have Zion and they lost a couple games here and there, they still won a slew of games. And with Zion, they won a bunch of games as well. I mean, they lost at home to Syracuse. They did have Zion, but they didn't have Cam Reddish. I mean, it's one of those things where, I think there is a little, to a degree, there is a little too much of the, this player wasn't in, and so that means they don't get. Well, what about what they did do without that player? Still won a slew of games. I know that they lost to Carolina without him. I know that they lost, a game against their rivals in which, a lot of people pointed towards the Zion factor. But again, it's not like RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish are out during these games collectively with Zion. And it's not like Coach K says, screw it, I'm just not going to coach this game. Those are still factors out there. Trey Jones was back. The one down at Duke, I get. Syracuse won. Trey Jones went out. Also, Reddish was out. There were 2 of the big 4 there that were out. But Duke's still really, really good. And I think this is a team that does deserve a number 1 seed, regardless of what happens in this. Well, put it this way: if they reach the finals, especially, they definitely deserve a number 1 seed. But if they lose in the semis to a very, very good North Carolina team that's a number 1 seed in the in the NCAA tournament, I got to be honest. I mean, I don't know as if that should be a detriment to Duke. If they get a 1 seed, I can just see it now. Everybody who hates Duke is going to absolutely complain about the Duke favoritism, which is just bullshit. The reason that everybody gets on is because they hate Duke and they don't look at it from an unbiased opinion. Mike Lindsley here, 9 Minutes with me, IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. Rosie's Corner, amazing. Get here. Pizza, wings, hot and cold subs, themed food during the week. Gift cards are always available. The official pizza shop of the ML Sports Platter. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Jody and Jason for having me. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.